Chima's heart pounded in excitement as she adjusted her white lace gown in front of the full-length mirror. The wedding hall buzzed with celebration, laughter, and high-life music. From a distance, her mother dabbed tears of joy from her eyes. Everything felt like a dream. Marrying Obinna, the love of her life, the son of Chief and Lolo Kafo, one of the most respected families in Anambra State. "Are you ready, my daughter?" Mama called from the door, beaming with pride. Chioma turned, her eyes glittering with happiness. "More than ever, Mama. I still can't believe it's real." As the doors of the hall opened, Chioma's breath hitched. Obinna stood tall in his richly embroidered agbada, a smile lighting up his handsome face. His parents stood beside him, Lolo Kafo, also known as Mama Obinna, elegant in her wine-colored lace, held a mysterious wooden box in her hands. The wedding went on without flaw. Vows were exchanged, rings were slipped into fingers, the cheers were deafening. It was during this reception that Mama Obinna stepped forward with the box, drawing everyone's attention. "My daughter-in-law," she began, her voice sweet and commanding. "This necklace has been in our family for 3 generations. It is a symbol of fertility and protection for every wife who joins this home. Wear it and you will carry strong sons and wise daughters." Chioma gasped as Mama Obinna opened the box, revealing a heavy antique golden necklace, encrusted with tiny red stones. It shimmered under the light, delicate yet commanding. "It's beautiful," Chioma whispered, allowing Mama Obinna to place it around her neck. Obinna leaned and kissed her forehead. "You look divine, my queen." Everyone clapped and cheered, but if Chioma had looked closely, she would have seen the brick flicker in Mama Obinna's eyes, a shadow of something dark, unreadable. Days turned into weeks, weeks turned into months. Married life was sweet in the beginning. Obinna doted on her, showered her with gifts, kisses, and promises of forever. They traveled, laughed, and made love under moonlight. Then came the question, the whisper. "Auntie Choma, any good news?" her neighbors would ask with knowing smile. Her mother-in-law's words began to take a sharp edge. "You know, in our time, women don't waste months before bringing children into the home." Choma would laugh it off even when it stung. "Mama, we are not worried yet. God's time is the best." 3 months became 6, 6 months into 9, Choma began to worry. She booked an appointment at a reputable fertility clinic in Enugu. Obinna went with her. After thorough tests, the doctor smiled gently. "There's nothing wrong with either of you. Everything is functioning perfectly. Sometimes it just takes time." Obinna seemed relieved. "You see, nothing to worry about." But Choma couldn't shake the heaviness in her chest. Something didn't feel right. Why did she feel so drained all the day? Why did her dreams keep showing her shadows crawling along her chest while she slept? At night, she would wake up sweating, gasping hands gripping her stomach as if something was pulled from inside of her. And always, always, the necklace would glow faintly in the dark, pulsing like a living thing. She finally brought it up. "Obinna, do you think there is something strange about this necklace your mother gave me?" He chuckled. "Strange? Babe, it's just old. Maybe it's reacting to your skin. But it's always warm, and my dreams." Obinna pulled her into his arms. "You're just stressed. Stop thinking too much. Everything will be fine." But everything wasn't fine. Mama Obinna grew colder towards her. Choma would sense the shift. "Young girls of nowadays," she said one evening in the kitchen, "all beauty, no fruit. What use is a tree that doesn't bear fruit?" Choma turned to face her, heart flickering in her eyes. "Mama, I am trying. I want children too." Mama Obinna scoffed. "Maybe you should pray harder, or maybe you weren't meant to be the one." The words cut deep. Choma confided in her mother. "Mama, I feel like something is blocking me spiritually. I don't feel normal." Her mother frowned through the phone. "Child, I warned you about that woman. She never liked you. Go and pray. Go and see your pastor." Choma did. She went to vigils, fasted, prayed until her lips cracked and her knees ached. But the dreams continued and the necklace. She tried taking it off once, but her fingers trembled and her chest burned until she dropped it back in place. Obina began to stay out late. He came home tired, distant. He stopped talking about babies, stopped asking if she was okay. One evening she confronted him. Obina, talk to me. Have I done something wrong? He signed, Choma. I just need space. Everyone is asking questions. My mother, my father. I don't know what to tell them anymore. Tears swelled in her eyes. But we are in this together. Remember, you promised. Stop reminding me of my promises, he snapped. Maybe this isn't working. That night, Choma wept in her pillow, the necklace heavy on her chest like a chain of shame. She stood before the mirror, staring at her reflection. Her skin looked dull, her eyes had lost their sparkle, and the necklace, it gleamed, almost mockingly. She touched it, whispering to herself, "What are you?" In the background, Mamobina's voice echoed in her mind. Not every woman is meant to carry a child. The next morning, as Shoma descended the stairs, she overheard Mamobina speaking to a relative on the phone. I told him he should consider someone else. That girl won't give us children. Mark my words. Choma froze, her heart shattered into pieces. She quietly turned back and climbed up the stairs, numb, alone, betrayed. Later that night, she called on the floor of the bedroom, holding her womb, whispering prayers between sobs. God, please, don't let this be the end of my joy. But immediately she said this prayer, the necklace began to heat up mysteriously on its own and began to burn her chest. She tried removing it, but it refused. Then had a trance-like experience. She was in a room dark but not empty. A woman sat huddled in a corner, her arms wrapped tightly around her stomach, weeping softly. Chains clinked around her ankles. But it was the necklace around her neck that caught Choma's eyes. It was identical to hers, antique gold with red stones that pulsed like they were alive. The woman looked up suddenly, her eyes meeting Choma's. Help me, she whispered. Please, take it off. Choma jolted awake, her chest heavy. Sweat soaked through her nightgown as she sat upright in bed, gasping for air. Her fingers flew to her neck. The necklace was still there, getting warmer against her skin. She touched it gingerly and shivered. Webina lay beside her, snoring lightly, unaware of the nightmare that had just ripped through her soul. That morning, Choma couldn't shake the idea of the crying woman that looked exactly like her. The dream had felt real, too real. She tried to pray but found her voice shaking, uncertain. Later in the day, she called her childhood friend Ifoma. Ifoma, I had a terrible dream and I feel like something is wrong, deeply wrong. Ifoma didn't hesitate. I told you before, come with me to see Prophetess Ezenwa. She helped my sister when doctors couldn't find answers. She sees beyond the physical. Choma hesitated. I don't want people to think I'm being dramatic. This is not about people, it's about your life. Please, Choma, just go. By noon, they were on their way to Prophetess Ezenwa's prayer house, a quiet bungalow hidden on the outskirts of town, surrounded by thick bushes. Inside, the air was heavy with incense. Candles lined the floor. The prophetess was a small woman with piercing eyes and a commanding presence. Before Choma could speak, the woman stood up sharply and pointed at her neck. Remove that abomination. Don't bring it into my house. Choma froze. What? This? It was given to me. Remove it, the prophetess thundered. It is cursed. Shaking, Choma was shocked that she immediately began to remove the necklace and place it on the doorstep immediately. The prophetess relaxed, her eyes narrowed as she stared at it. That necklace, she said quietly, is not a gift, it's a padlock. Chalma's lip trembled. Padlock? Yes, a spiritual padlock. Whoever wears it, her womb is sealed. Her joy is bound, her light dims day by day. Chalma's heart sank, but it was given to me as a fertility symbol by my mother-in-law. The prophetess looked away. Your mother-in-law is deeply rooted in spiritual manipulation. She gave it to you because she has a wicked heart. This is not the first time she has done this. She believes only her chosen women deserve to carry the family bloodline. Anyone she disapproves of, she locks with curses, ensuring they remain barren. Tears streamed down Chioma's cheeks. But why? Why me? I have done nothing to her. You married her only son. She fears losing her influence, so she binds you, ensuring that when you are cast aside, she can bring in a woman of her choosing. Chioma felt her world crumble. How can someone be so cruel? Power, the prophetess replied, is more addictive than love, especially when it's threatened. For a moment, neither woman spoke. Then the prophetess said, Did you ever hear of Adora? Choma frowned. Who is that? Obina had an elder brother once. He married a woman named Adora, beautiful, kind, just like you. She wore that same necklace. Choma's heart pounded. What happened to her? She became barren just like you. After years of pain, she vanished. Her husband was told she ran away, but I have seen visions. She did not run, she was taken. Choma gasped, taken? You mean killed? The prophetess didn't answer. She stood and sprinkled water over the necklace. A hiss rose from me like steam escaping a kettle. The prophetess shook her head. This is not ordinary. You must never wear it again. Shaking to her core, Chama returned home quietly. She placed the necklace in a sealed box and locked it in her wardrobe. That evening, she confronted Obina gently. Obina, tell me about your brother, the one who was married before. Obina blinked in surprise. Why you asked about Chike? That was long ago. What happened to his wife? Obina looked away. They said she left. My parents don't like talking about it. Choma pressed. Don't you feel strange that she couldn't conceive either and now me? Obina narrowed his eyes. Are you trying to say something? I just want to understand why things are repeating. Choma replied softly. Something isn't right. Obina stood. Look, if you're getting ideas from somewhere, stop it. Not everything has a spiritual answer. But Choma couldn't let it go. She began asking questions around the compound, talking to old neighbors and distant relatives. Most were reluctant, but her elderly maid, Nkechi, finally spoke. Adora, she whispered. I remembered her, sweet girl, she cried a lot. She stopped laughing and then one day she was gone. No goodbye, nothing. Did you ever see her with a necklace? Choma asked. Nkechi nodded slowly. Yes. Mama gave it to her too. She always said it burned her chest. Choma's nail gave way. She sat on the floor trembling. The pieces were connecting too clearly. She returned to Prophetess Ezenwa days later. Please, she begged. I want to be free. I want to break this curse. The prophetess sighed. Please, I can't help you. Leave. But, Choma whispered. I said you should leave. But within the weight of the necklace, both physical and spiritual, had become too much for Choma to bear. For months, there has been an unspoken presence around her neck, a constant reminder of Mama Obina's curse. But now, she stood in front of Obina. Determination burned in her eyes. Obina, I have to tell you something, Joma began, her voice trembling but resolute, about the necklace, about what I've learned. It's not just a gift from your mother, it's a curse. Obina shook his head, disbelief washing over him. Choma, you are being irrational. You can't just blame my mother for your problems. This is all in your head. I thought so at first, but I've seen things, vision, dreams. I have been to a prophet and she told me what this necklace is. It seals my womb. It's been given to me to ensure I can't conceive. And you wouldn't understand. But she's been doing this to every woman who marries into your family. Obna recalled Choma, this is insane. My mother is not evil. She's only ever wanted what's best for us. Choma's heart ached at the lack of trust in his eyes. But she knew she wouldn't give up. Please, Obina, listen to me. I want to prove it to you. I'll remove it and you will see. She reached up and loosened the necklace. Her fingers trembled as it slipped off her neck. The moment it left her skin, strange coldness washed over her. She gasped as her vision blurred, the world around her spinning. Choma, Obina's voice seemed far away, but it was not his voice that reached her ears now. It was the sound of whispers, low and menacing. Suddenly, she found herself standing before a dark shrine. A fire burned at the center, casting shadows on the wall. Mama Obina stood there, chanting incantation. Her face twisted with malice. She held a dagger ready to take a sacrifice. No, 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 Choma cried out, but no sound left her lips. In that moment, Choma's mind snapped back to the present. She staggered, gasping for breath. Obina rushed to her side, panic in his eyes. What's happening to you? He shouted, holding her steady. Mama Obina, Choma whispered, her voice shaking. She's been using witchcraft on me. I saw it. I saw the shrine, Obina, the altar. Where is she? Obina stepped back. What are you saying? That's my mother. Are you saying that she's a witch? Choma nodded, her throat tight. I know it's hard to believe, but I saw it. She's been controlling us with this necklace. I have to break free, Obina. For the first time, Choma saw doubt flicker in his eyes. I don't know what to believe anymore, but if what you're saying is true, then we need to stop her. Choma's heart soared with hope. I'm going to a prayer camp. I need deliverance. I need to be free. Let me come with you, Obina offered. I'll do whatever it takes to make this right. The journey to the prayer camp was long, but Choma felt a sense of purpose that hadn't been there since months. She knew the battle ahead would be fierce, but she wasn't alone anymore. Obina was with her, and she could feel the shift in his heart. That night, the prayer camp was buzzing with flavor. Hundreds of people gathered for the midnight prayer. Choma knelt at the altar. She closed her eyes, focusing on her prayer. Lord, break every chain that binds me, she cried out. Her voice strong despite the fear in her heart. As the flames of the vigil danced in the darkness, Choma felt a strange heat spread through her body. Her chest burned, and suddenly the necklace, now resting in her hands, grew unbearably hot. She screamed, dropping it to the ground. The necklace twisted and contorted, glowing red with an unholy heat. The air around her cracked as the necklace shattered into pieces, falling to the ground into a burst of flame. Choma gasped, her body shaking with relief and exhaustion. She looked up at Obina, whose eyes were wide with disbelief. Did you see that? It's over. It's finally over. But Mama Obina's wrath was far from over. That same week, Choma's body began to change. She woke up one morning with a wave of nausea, feeling followed by a nursing, overwhelming sense of joy. She rushed to the clinic for a test. When the results came out, she was trembling. She was pregnant. She was very happy. As the days passed, Choma's belly grew and the family could no longer ignore the miracle unfolding before them. But Mama Obina, sensing her grip on the family sleeping, tried to strike again. One afternoon, she visited Choma's home under the guise of offering advice. You think this pregnancy will last? She sneered. You think the gods are on your side now? You fool, Choma, the battle has only begun. Choma stood tall. No, Mama Obina, the battle is over. You will never harm me or my children again. With that, Choma began to pray aloud. At that moment, the ground beneath them seemed to tremble. The walls of the house shook as the powers of Choma's prayer filled the air. Mama Obina stumbled back, fear flashing in her eyes. The altar in her home, hidden away for years, was now exposed for all to see. Obina called the family, Choma commanded, let everyone see the truth. In the living room, the entire family gathered. Choma stood before them. As Obina's mother just laid on the floor, unresponsive. This is your mother's altar. This is the source of all the pain and suffering she has cursed. I am done hiding. I will not let her destroy me or my children. Mama Obina tried to protest, but her voice faltered. Months later, Choma gave birth to healthy twin boys, their cries echoing through the house as Obina and Choma held them in their arms. In a quiet ceremony, the cursed necklace was thrown into a fire, burning away like the last remnant of Mama Obina's power. It was never to harm any other soul again. Mama Obina was never seen again. Some villagers claimed that they saw her running into the evil forest and that as a consequence she got from all her evil deeds. We have come to the end of this story. I hope you did enjoy it. If this is your first time, I highly welcome